He focuses a man once again, and this is sort of a found footage film, sort of not. The Fourth Kind, which Larry Keane said, a remarkable movie that boggles the mind. This is Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind. I'm sorry, I have to disagree, Larry Keane. The only bonus features he did is the lead scenes. The film cost around 10 million, but made like 20, 25 million bucks in the U.S. So it was a hit, you know. It's directed by some guy who I don't think he's gone on to do anything before or since. Olatunde Osun Sunmi. Um, the thing of it is, though, okay, it's kind of a found footage, but kind of not. I mean, basically, it's the Fourth Kind. You have this psychologist played by Milla Jovovich, and she's kind of dealing with her husband's death, which she feels was a murder, but she couldn't see the intruder. Talks with her friend, another psychologist played by Elias Koteas, and he wants her to take her some time off, but she wants to keep going and finish her husband's work. And got notes so I don't forget anything. But at the same time, she wants to finish her husband's work. She goes to Alaska. I think it's Nome. Yeah, Nome, Alaska. And one thing leads to another. She goes through a couple patients and finds out that for some reason they keep having the same kind of weird events where they can't sleep. They keep seeing this owl for some reason, this owl. One thing leads to another, and she hypnotizes one guy, and under hypnosis, he freaks out and starts screaming, and when he snaps out, he can't remember, but he realizes something bad, and then later on that night, he holds his wife and kids hostage. So the sheriff, Will Patton, gets her down there, and she's trying to talk him down, but it doesn't work, and the guy shoots his wife and kids and himself. It's not graphic because it's PG-13. One thing leads to another. I'm trying to remember. She hypnotizes another person, even though she was warned by the sheriff, and she made sure to ask this person. They were very adamant on getting hypnotized. And you have a moment where he sits, almost like he's floating. And then there's moments after that where she's realized, Milla Jovovich, that she's gone through certain stuff herself, and that she has a tape recorder that apparently she went through something like that, and she's speaking this language, which you find out is Sumerian language. She asked someone, and it's Sumerian language, this sort of dead language, and how is she speaking it? And so, Milla Jovovich, Elias Koteas, which I'm like, oh, cool, Casey Jones. And this other guy who knows how to speak Sumerian, trying to investigate a little bit. Sheriff Will Pass giving him a hard time. And it gets to a point where, he's like, I'm going to arrest you. Elias Koteas, because the sheriff very irrational. Very, too irrational, in a way. It's too much of a fucking dick. Sets a cop car in front of Milla Jovovich's place, and of course, she has two kids. One of them gets abducted. And she's freaking out, and one thing leads to another. She wants to be hypnotized herself, and they go through one last hypnotism, and she's freaking out, and you hearing all this Sumerian language, and one is like, I am God, or whatever like that. I went through the general gist of the plot to get to the main fault with this movie. Is I know this guy Olatunde Osunsanmi. This is his first film. He's a protege of Joe Carnahan. The thing is, someone put it, is trying to have his Blair Witch cake and eat it too. The thing about this movie, it tries to do both, a film and a found footage at the same time. What I mean by that is that there are scenes, when she does certain hypnosis, where it's the dramatization, because the way this film begins is Milla Jovovich walking up and saying, hello, My name is Milla Jovovich. I will be playing the role of Dr. Abigail. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What am I watching? And like, you have the quote real footage of the real Abigail being interviewed, and then interspersed with the fake Abigail, the movie dramatization with Milla Jovovich. And there are times where they split the screen. So you have Milla Jovovich, and then you have the real, quote, real Abigail doing the same fucking sequence. Why do I need to see the same sequence in two fucking universes, in like two fucking versions? It kind of takes me out of the movie. I'm like, this is a movie. I know it's not real. I don't buy into anything. Like, the whole point of these films, like, point of view films can be good. Like Blair Witch Project, I love. You know, I like Cloverfield. I even like the St. Francisville Experiment, for fuck's sake. They pull you in. Okay, you're in one world, you get sucked in. Or you go into a film, as one person said, disbelief. You either over or underplay it, like you try to go for the ride. You can't do that because they're doing both at the same time. The quote real footage, and then they have the dramatization. Then this is the actual audio, and then you'll have people speaking the same fucking lines where you have like Milla Jovovich is talking, and then it sort of blends into the real Abigail talking, then it blends back to Milla Jovovich saying the same fucking line, the same fucking scene, and interspersed with when the guy has hostage of his wife and kids, to quote the real footage, or like the movie cop looking outside and then the quote real camera of the cop looking at a flying saucer. And it takes you so much out of the movie left and right, this tug of war, that granted it's an experimentation, and they did some decent directing elements by this director, like when she's interviewing people, what they're going through day after day. It's like Milla Jovovich, and then one shot pans to one person, pans, Milla Jovovich toss, pans is a completely different person, pans back, pans forth in one shot, so it makes it seem like, okay, she's going through a lot of people. Okay, you do little interesting touches like that, like, I like the idea of, okay, putting the audio and us hearing and putting like subtitles and shit so we can hear clearly. There's certain touches I like that, but it just, this bullshit of strict time, screen split, and the same fucking scene, split, it just doesn't work. And to be honest, for me personally, the quote, the actress playing the quote real Abigail, I mean, because her interview is like after the fact, so of course she's gonna be sort of zombified because of what's happened to her. Because you find out that her kid was taken and she was being accused. They have the actress name, Charlotte Milchard. I think she did a better job than Milla Jovovich. I mean, Milla Jovovich was not terrible. Elias Koteas I like. Will Patton was too over the top. Hakeem K. Kazim, I think he's the guy who does the Sumerian. So, other than Will Patton who's over the top, the acting's not bad. And you have some interesting visuals, or camera work. But it just, the way it's done, the way it's an experiment, but it's an experiment that fell flat on his face and failed very badly, in my opinion. Sometimes the creepy moments maybe would be the actual footage, like when the second guy under hypnosis, he just goes straight up, and you see the quote actual footage of the guy screaming and floating up, but the video's being fucked up. That was kind of okay. Ooh, it's kind of a little bit creepy, but then it's cut right back to the film, and then it doesn't work that way. Choose one or the other. That's why. I mean, they experiment. They tried. I guess it's worth a try, but it didn't work out well. I'm sorry. And some of the characters were annoying. Like Will Patton got very fucking annoying. Oh yeah, every time they introduce someone, they go Will Patton as sheriff. I'm like, no, I know who the fuck that is. Elias Koteas as blah 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 blah. I mean, that shit kind of takes you out of the movie. Like, okay, I know it's a movie. I can't even be sucked in, because when I try, then something else comes. I'm like, you can't be trying to be sucked in by this movie. Someone says the scariest, most shocking alien abduction movie to date. Watch Fire in the Sky. Watch Fire in the Sky. That film, I thought it was pretty good. Fire in the Sky, especially the ending of Fire in the Sky. But anyway, and the ending is just, it's downbeat, but it's like trunking you on the head that's downbeat. What I mean by, not only is her daughter taken, but it's her daughter, little girl who's fucking blind. So her blind daughter is taken. Um, and then not only that, her son doesn't believe her and blames her for the disappearance and says, "Why don't you just stop it, Mom? Stop it." And he's a fucking brat that want to kick through a fucking field goal or give him a fistful of teeth. The sheriff is fucking blaming the shit on her, even though Elias Koteas is there and he's not saying shit because he's being an asshole for some reason. And then Andrea is saying that, oh, the little girl was never found and that the real Abigail, she's deteriorating. She needs care in the hospital 24 hours a day. I'm like, you're really trying to sell home? Hey, this is downbeat. Do you get that? Downbeat. Okay, I get the fucking message. It's downbeat. The only times that maybe would kind of a little bit creepy is the actual footage of person like floating and going crazy. Okay, that looked cool, but you know, do one like these with the found footage, and then for a change, have a happy ending or have a decent ending, you know, or fucking shit, you know. That's what I would do, in my opinion. But hell, what do I know? I don't make movies. So yeah, she's in the hospital after her last hypnosis, where I guess they were her and Elias Koteas were abducted and brought back, or her girl's gone, and that's where you get this being. No, it's not God. They just sort of say that this being thinks of itself as a God, like I'm so much powerful than you that I can call myself, I am God, you know, to you. You know, I can make you forget your memory, shit like that. I mean, that scene was decent when it was, quote, real footage. But again, you don't buy that it's real. I'm like, please, don't fuck with my intelligence. I am smarter than you, movie. I'm sorry. You know? And the last scene is the real Abigail being interviewed by this guy, which the TV host is actually the director himself, the guy doing the interview with the real Abigail. And I like the end credits. That's probably my favorite part of the movie. I mean, okay, Elias Koteas, Milla Jovovich is okay, you know. Elias Koteas, the girl played Abigail. To be honest, I think she was a little bit better than Milla Jovovich. The guy the one who was the guy who translated the Sumerian, but some actors like Will Patton, the fucking boy, that kid, I want to punch in the face. So were annoying. It really, you think about it, there's not much where it's okay. She interviewed a few people, 2 hypnosis, kid gets abducted, she goes under hypnosis, and the movie. And what the fuck was the deal with the owl? What the fuck does the owl have to do with anything? Do aliens love owls? Are they part of the owl? Do they just fuck with owl? What the fuck does the owl have to do with anything? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I mean, I'll say the best part is the end credits, because I like the end credits that it's white background, and it's just audio recordings of people encountering UFOs. And they put like, this was in Salt Lake City, and then a recording. Those end credits alone, I think it was creepier. And then those like little bits where you see the people floating, you know, in the real footage. But that's not enough to like a movie, you know, at all. This is not a good movie. It has a lot of problems, in my opinion. But either way, thanks for watching. Take care. And see you at the movies. Later. I mean, stick to one thing at least. Shit.